What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another live pastel painting video. Today I have returned to the paper that I started with originally, the Canson Métiers pastel paper. This is the felt gray color. And shout out to the model Benji. We painted his fiance on Wednesday in oil paint. Today, we're going to paint Benji's portrait in pastel. So shout out to you, Benji. Thanks for letting me paint your portrait here on YouTube. So I have kind of a custom sized paper. I'm going to probably draw about this size for the face. Jaw is going to fit somewhere about there. So I like having a little bit more space when possible, and this is bigger than 9 by 12. I don't know exactly what size this is, but it is a tad bit larger. Same pastels as usual. These are the soft pastels, Rembrandt brand soft pastels. So this is all going to be business as usual. Simple shapes for the head. The placement is there. I may move the camera just a little bit to the right, which is probably going to mess with my time lapse. Oops. Oh well. At least I did this early on. Alright, good. Now everything is placed and we're ready to get going. Hey, Mark L. Giselle, May, welcome. Said your TV says starting at 8 p.m. Mobile says 4 p.m. Yeah, I don't know. YouTube can act up sometimes. Hair is gonna fit somewhere over there. Our estimation for the eyebrows, axes for the eyes. The ear is gonna probably go down to about there. I'm just starting off with the black pastel for the drawing, concavity of the eye socket. Edge of the face is over there. Neck is over here. A little cast shadow indication there. Eye sockets. We'll go in with the facial hair. Mouth. The facial hair over here. Now the position of the head is 3/4 relative to us, so we're seeing more of this side of the face than the other side. Hey, Alexis. Oh, Lexi, is that you? Lexi as in Lexi and Benji. If that's you, let me know if y'all are going to the 9-ball tournament tonight that Dion is going to run. I was thinking about it, but I'm gonna have to go right after the stream ends, so I don't know if I'll have time to do that. Ah, it's you. Awesome. Welcome, Lexi. Hopefully you liked your portrait on Wednesday. Hope I didn't do too bad. Hey, Jeanette. Welcome, welcome. Alright, we're gonna start shading. With soft pastels, you want to start adding layers of pastel as early as you can. Not going tonight. Yeah, I don't know if I could. Honestly, I don't even know if I can go. I want to. So the hat, little indications for the hat there. Now we'll start to shade in some of the dark. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Alexi. Glad you liked it. Thank you, Sal. No, yesterday we just went to go see one place, and honestly, I give the probability of of us moving somewhere probably less than 20%. I doubt we're gonna move. There was like a little issue with the water in the in one of the rooms here, but looks like it's gonna get situated. Hopefully I stay here. I'm fine here. I mean, of course I'd like, to be in a bigger place, but I'm all right. I'm hoping everything goes well. That was actually my landlord. Uh-oh. Hope she's not watching the stream. Oh no, that would be bad. Talk about awkward. All right, so hey Geek T, welcome, welcome. Thanks for joining. You're welcome here every time. Simple shapes here. Blocking in the dark for the hair. All my pastels, most of them are kind of broken up into pieces at this point from me accidentally dropping them. Since I did change upgrade the microphone, you may not actually hear. Can you hear it? Can you hear that? I don't know if you can hear the pastel anymore. Which might be a good thing for some people. They didn't like to hear the pastel. So we're just layering the darks, working from simple shapes. In the beginning, my portraits tend to look like robots, and they start to get more and more human-like as the stream progresses. It's a lot of fun with pastel. It's way different than, say, something like acrylic. This is like the polar opposite of acrylic or watercolor, which we will be doing soon. Very soon, as soon as possibly next week. I did leave my 9-ball league just to be able to do that. Sacrifices have been made, but I heard from my captain that they're doing a lot better now that I left. So that's a good thing. So how's everybody doing today? Hey, Francesco. Welcome, welcome. Hope everyone's doing well. Eye socket shape. Look for shapes rather than details, especially when you're working with pastel. So going in with eye socket shape, layering the pastel. Yeah, and to be honest, this paper actually feels a little better to work on than the other one. I really wanted the other one to work, the one that I used last week for the Mary Cassett. I mean, it's fine for like sketches, but I found as I continued to layer the pastel that because it was such smooth paper that some of the um, pieces of pastel started to kind of crumple. So what's everybody doing this weekend? I've got one of the busiest weekends of the year, believe it or not, and I usually don't like that. I like my weekends to be nice and, you know, not too eventful. Though, all good stuff is happening. My friends from art school are getting married tomorrow, so my wife and I will be attending their wedding. Shout out to Mark and Aubrey, though I don't think that they watch these streams. And the painting group in Baltimore actually meets right before, not right before, but like it ends at 2 and the wedding is at 5, and they're in Baltimore. So that just happened to work out. There was also a reptile conference or convention called Repticon. I don't know if anybody here knows about Repticon, which I love going to, but if it's a choice between painting and going to a reptile expo, I'll be going to paint.
I don't know what you mean by.
Nope.
Hey Siri, I'm going to the.
I'm not trying to talk to you, Siri. Be quiet. My Siri, of course. Anybody else's Siri do that? Like, randomly thinks you're talking to it? Okay. I really need to disconnect my Siri. That used to happen 4 years ago. A lot. It's happening again. I'm getting trolled by Siri. Adding some of the green. Okay, so it is actually, this is more coarse than the paper I used last week. Like I said, I really wanted that paper to work, and I'll probably still use it from time to time during the streams, but it just it was too smooth. So just getting the shape for the hat right now, as it is going to be part of the composition. Don't really see the top of his hat. It was cropped off during the picture. But stuff like this is actually kind of important to state early on, because it's part of the composition. You don't want to just add it randomly at the end, because that could kind of look weird. So I'm paying a lot of attention to the hat. This is one of the most fun things about pastel, is this layering process. It really gets you in tune with your planes. And of course, it's calling in the middle of a live stream. Yeah. Okay. Alrighty, let's continue to layer. Lots of layering to do here. Yep. Lots of layering to do. So this is actually slowing me down because this thing broke last week. Oh man, that's my landlord. Okay, so hold on a second. You're gonna take a short break. Hello? I'm good, how are you? Uh-huh. Yeah. 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 You said around 6? Uh, okay, yeah, because I'm doing a live stream for YouTube that usually ends at 7, but try to work as fast as I can. Okay. Guys, this is not cool. So it looks like yeah, it looks like I might be in and out with this stream. Benji, I won't give up. Lexi, I will not give up. I will continue working on this, but long story short, they're going to tear down a wall right next to my studio where the bathroom is. So that's kind of a problem. Yeah, I don't know how that's all going to pan out. So I am going to have to work even faster, or I have to split this stream into 2 streams. So my landlord is going to call me back soon. Yeah, I know. I know. Oh, you can't hear the pastel, Giselle? Yeah, I know, it's the landlord. Yeah, yeah, Lexi, I'm kind of screwed. We're kind of screwed. There's a water leak in the bathroom, which is right across from the studio. Oh dear. So, if anybody isn't subscribed to the YouTube channel and wants to help me out, please subscribe to the YouTube channel. So in the future, we don't have to deal with things like that, although that kind of happens to everyone. Oh, man. You know, all I want in life is to be able to paint and hang out with Hugo and play pool occasionally. That's all I want out of life. Yeah, I got yeah, double trouble. Guess so. Yeah, I know. Uh, Lexi, I'll do what I can. In terms of the pastel, this is much easier to talk about. So what I'm doing is I'm building the planes of the face. very careful, let's say, kind of like chops like a sculpture, chopping into it like a sculpture. Not careful in the mark making sense, but careful in the chopping the planes kind of sense. I think the day I took this picture of Benji, he totally destroyed me in 9 ball. I think I lost like, I don't know, like 5 games to him that day or something like that. So he looks very confident. Yeah, Benji looks very confident there because he totally destroyed me in 9 ball. Yeah, don't forget to like, everybody. Kind of funny the timing of all this stuff. I tend to always feel like whenever I'm on the verge of something, and I've mentioned this before, ironically, like whenever I'm on the verge of something really, really good happening, something else happens. And I feel like it's just kind of a test. It's just kind of a test. Do you have what it takes to work through almost anything? Can you imagine all that's happening right now, and there's a wedding that I'm supposed to go to tomorrow, and the painting group that I so desperately want to meet up with because I want to paint from life. Finally, we've got that shadow shape somewhat figured out. But people tend to love tea, so I'm giving you the tea. Struggles of Yupari artists, real life issues. I'm giving you the tea. Hopefully I get an extra like out there for the tea. Tea is nice and warm. Emmanuel, thanks for watching from Ireland. Giselle, wrote it in your culture, something's always a test or a sign. It's always some kind of test or a sign. It's always a test or a sign. Just gotta work through it. Work through the pain. Man, there she is, my landlord. That is not a good sign. I'll be back. Hello? Between, what was that again? Sorry.
Between 5 p.m. and 7 p.m.
5 p.m. and 7 p.m. Okay.
Mm-hmm. So they're going to be there tonight. They're going to inspect everything, and they're probably going to open up the wall. Well, they're going to have to open up the wall in order to see where the pipes are, and they're going to leave industrial humidifiers in there to kind of get everything not to be wet, because if it's wet, it's going to cause mold. So they're going to be there tonight. Do you guys want me to come down there? I don't have a problem coming back, or what do you want?
Well, whatever's easiest for you. I mean, yeah, I mean, I'll still be. No, it's actually really funny.
Just pack a bag overnight. Just come down there as well, just so I can kind of assess and see if they're not gonna have to take out any toilets or anything like that, then you guys are more than welcome to still stay in the house. But if they are going to take out, the toilet or the sink, well, it's either one or either you will have a toilet and a sink. I just didn't know, I don't take advantage of you all. So try to say.
No, it's okay. I mean, you're welcome anytime. Yeah, I'll just be doing the best that I can with the stream, and then yeah, it just makes it more entertaining.
Okay. Okay. So, if you could just shoot me a text when they are there, and then I can drive down there because I'm only 15, 20 minutes away from you all.
Okay. Yeah, I'll be here. Yeah, you can. Lord have mercy. And I never say that. But for the 19 of you that are still here, we are going to push through this. No matter what, you don't give up. For the 19 of you that are here, we are going to push through this together. Thanks, May. Yeah, at that point, that's what I felt like was the right thing to do. Was to bring you. What are you supposed to do? What do you do? But we're on the verge of something, everybody. We're on the verge of something good. Even if they're tearing down the walls, we will still be doing these streams. As long as I have a chair, an easel, and most importantly, internet connection. Because you can't stream without that. Thanks, Lexi. And this is something that pool has taught me. For those of you that have not played a sport, like any kind of competitive sport, you really have to learn how to not be overly reactive. Like, I instantly went for Hugo as kind of like a means to, like level out my head and not act on emotion or get upset. You just gotta go through it. Like in a sport, if you're down a couple games and you say you missed an easy shot, and then you feel like your opponent is gonna clear the table on you, they could miss, and then they would get upset, and it all comes down to who is able to keep calm and go through it, not being reactive. Also, a little bit of instinct is involved. Right, like mostly right now I'm working off of instinct. It's because of, all the distractions around me. Can't imagine what it feels like for a like professional pool player to go through all the disappointments that they have to go through and keep pushing. I mean, I would consider myself a professional at this, but I guess I just answered my own question. You just have to go off of your instinct. Know it so well that you can do it despite all distractions in the world. We're working our way towards the eye socket shape. So very carefully selecting what shapes we're putting in first. I guess so. Cool Hand Luke? Who's that? I mean, why does that sound like Luke Skywalker? I don't know. Not sure I remember the reference there. This is gonna make for a great story. What a story, Mark. If someone named Mark shows up. What a story, Mark. Why does it always happen during Pastel? Do you remember was it like 2 weeks ago? Or my audio, my router just died on me or like shut off. You remember that? Why is it always during Pastel? Nero kept playing the violin while Rome was burning. Wasn't Nero like the emperor or the ruler that was a little bit, say, unorthodox? Oh, this is gonna be a fun live stream, everybody. For the 23 of you that are here, I hope we get like 50 people here for this live stream. The most entertaining live stream of the year is probably gonna be this one. Because you know I'm not gonna stop. Like, I'm gonna push through this. This is gonna be fun. Oh, Cool Hand Luke's Paul Newman movie about the. Oh, you mean the movie The Hustler? I know about that movie. You know, that's kind of still a real thing. I have a friend that played a $500 match, like drove like an hour or something to go play a game that was broadcasted even. $500 at stake. I could never do that. I don't have the courage or the extra $500. But the players I'm talking about are on a very high level. I consider them to be, closer to professional. At least, that's what I think. Thanks, Alexis. Lexi. We are gonna be just fine. Bringing on the tea this time. Oh, thanks. It's like you're watching a sped up video in a parallel universe. It was a sped up video. We got this. I added a little bit of information for the eyes, but then stopped because as long as it's enough for me to move around, so it gives me a chance to see without having to measure. You feel out the proportions as you work this way, as opposed to the careful linear drawing, which we did um, on the Bouguereau, the acrylic Bouguereau last week, and somewhat with the Velasquez we did yesterday. Total opposite to say something like watercolor. So learning all these different materials is absolutely uh, a challenge in the sense that they vary so much. But again, it's a lot of fun. I like the challenge. I wish I could grow facial hair like Benji's, but it doesn't work for me. Definitely rocking that mustache. So these accents on the features are really important because you can move them around really easily while the painting is still loose, or it's still it still hasn't tightened up. And you never want it to tighten up so much that you're afraid to move something. Even if you've been working on it for um, the longest I've worked on a painting is 2 years. And I still changed a lot of things, without being too timid about it. Hey Ben, this must be Benji must be all the tacos. No, no, this is a good facial hair, man. That of which I cannot grow. I would really enjoy a carnitas taco myself, or barbacoa. But I came here straight from the pool academy. I had to go there with Hugo because the landlord was here, so Hugo couldn't be here. Which actually, I should probably keep Hugo in the room with me. He's out there. I'll go get him in a little bit. Which brings me to an interesting question. I don't know how many people will be able to respond, but question is, have you, let's say, been tested in the sense that you were supposed to do your job or work while something crazy was happening. Like what's been happening here with the landlord calling and all that stuff. What's the most intense situation you've been in and still had to do your job to maintain focus? Yeah, The Hustler is the pool movie. You're thinking of another movie where he was a prisoner. I would definitely know about the the Hustler movie because I've seen it a couple times in the academy. Any questions that anyone has here are welcome. It was a kind of an interesting topic yesterday. People were talking about paper that they can oil paint on, and I actually never did that. I've never oil done an oil painting on unprimed paper. Of course, I've painted on primed paper many times years ago, mainly when I was a teenager, but not recently. So if anybody knows of a type of paper that you can oil paint on without priming it, let me know. Someone did challenge me to do that, though it won't be very archival, but I'm always up to a challenge. So basically, what I'm telling you is I don't have all the answers. There's a lot of stuff that I don't know. Even though I've been doing this for 16 years, still a lot of stuff I don't know. Gotta be careful not to jump into too much detail, though it's tempting to just jump right in there and start making stuff look realistic. It takes a lot of skill and discipline to know exactly how much to hold off, how much to hold back, when to hold back, and then when to, go into more detail. Okay, so now for the background, I'm gonna have to choose how to vignette the background. So I'm thinking perhaps keep it more simple, have this kind of as like a Bouguereau study. Bouguereau is one of the best of all time. So just kind of vignette it. I don't know. We'll figure it out as we go. I may end up putting like a greenish color here later on. But I need this specific shape. Hey, Susan. Welcome to what seems like will be one of the most entertaining streams because a lot of stuff has been going on around here. A lot of stuff. As in, my landlord might make an appearance. Due to a leak in the walls. We might have a construction crew or whatever you call a maintenance crew here. Hey, you said you're lifeguarding, holding the IV bag. Whoa, okay. You're holding an IV bag, standing on a while the shocked person we pulled out of the pool gave CPR till the EMTs came. Oh wow, you saved someone's life, like legit, really. Wow, amazing. Yeah, that definitely gets your heart rate moving for sure. Oh, thanks, Giselle. You know, I'm trying not to put on an act like some people do on YouTube. Um, and I'm not trying to behave any differently than I usually do. It's not like I'm gonna jump out and song and dance or something. But it does concern me sometimes about the people not being as entertained with the streams. But it seems to be working. Something about it seems to be working. A lot of different layers going into these mixtures here. And you're mixing on the paper. You can't be shy about working with mass. Mass meaning the opposite of line. Mass is a shape. It has a very definitive, let's say, area code. You can move it around. It's very fluid, very dimensional. I guess so. Oh, I didn't know that. First female lifeguard as a teenager. I didn't know. So black and yellow. Black and yellow are the green in the skin tones, as you see there. Very simple. As we start to get into more subtlety, we start to add smaller planes. But you have to be able to see the big picture and not get hung up on any kind of minutia too early on. The hardest thing to do in all of painting is to not get hung up on the detail. And then when you do get to the smaller shapes, you have to know how to move things around if you need to, which tends to almost always be the case. Even with the most careful of drawings. I can see why pastel is currently my favorite to work with, because it's so I don't know, there's something about it. So it's a physical. You really do sculpt out your pastel portraits. Lexi's painting is actually right behind me. Although I don't want to touch it because I've got pastel on my hands. I suppose they will hang next to each other at the billiard academy. This one being a pastel will be a little bit easier to frame than the oil painting. But yeah, I think they'll hang next to each other. It would only be right. Future husband and wife, painted by this random Yupari in Virginia. Oh, good observation. Will the backgrounds unify them? That means I gotta do a. I did say a greenish background, huh? Yeah, you think much more practical than I do. I just was like, uh, portrait. Let's go. Let's paint. I didn't think that far ahead. I'll put some shapes for the hair. Dion did do a nice job framing his pastel, so maybe we can get him, commission him to frame this one too. In case we want to frame them and stuff. Yeah, you'd rather hang them both in your place. Well, you don't like hanging them at streetlight? Careful, Dion might be watching. We gotta be careful. So this is how you simplify the hair. Go in with general shapes of light and dark first. With pastel, I'm going in with kind of an orangey, and it's gonna get lighter. I mean, cooler and lighter, of course. And that will be with black and yellow. Black and yellow, like the one hit wonder song from early 2000s. But this is what it's all about, the experience. Yeah, painting on a stream like this is really similar to painting from a real life model, just because that little extra pressure is good for you. Got a commercial right. Yeah, that's funny. They cut me off. YouTube says, be quiet. YouTube says, I don't want you to talk. Focus on what you're doing. Some people here actually don't get the ads because they have the YouTube uh, subscription, like the YouTube, I don't know what it's called. The thing where they pay to get the ads taken off. I, for one, paid the premium for Spotify right away. Like as soon as I got Spotify, I knew I wasn't gonna be able to deal with the ads on Spotify. So I usually take a break every hour, but not this time. Not taking a break this time. Just because if things do go south and the landlord gets here and then everything goes crazy, then I want to at least be able to finish the painting. Oh, it's called premium. No, I mean I've got the ads on too. I'm watching, I'm monitoring my stream on my iPad, and I get ads on my iPad. I can deal with it with videos, but not with music. I mean, me being a having been a content creator for so long, I understand kind of how important that is. Now we're adding the black and yellow. Let's see if I get an ad every time I say black and yellow. Yeah, we'll go in with the background color relatively soon because it's gonna offset the skin tone. You remember that song, that one hit wonder. I was going to school in Philly when that song came out, driving around in my 97 Toyota Camry, thinking I was something special back in those days. I guess so. I got it stuck in your head. That's funny. Okay. Planes, 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 and more planes. Yeah, when I was a kid, or when I was, first going to this school in Philly where I got uh, a big portion of my, classical drawing skills from. It was a. It's hard to describe the feeling, but it's kind of like when I had my first break and run in pool, which I don't do very often. Kind of like when the first break and run, it's like, whoa, this is actually starting to. It almost seems like I know what I'm doing. That's kind of what it was like when I was learning how to paint. Just these like small breakthroughs. And yeah, that was around the time that that song came out. I was living in Philly with one of the teachers at the school that I went to, my little Toyota Camry. Living the single life, going to Walmart, buying a can of beans. Which back then, everything was so affordable. Yeah, I haven't seen that one. Cool Hand Luke. I remember first when I first thought I was going to be able to do something with art. I was in, I think, elementary school. I don't know. I was drawing Dragon Ball Z characters were the first drawings I ever did and sold. I sold them for lunch money when I was in elementary school. Calverton Elementary School, PG County. Well, things are about to get interesting now. I can hear the door opening. Okay, it's not the landlord. Man, y'all, I'm gonna be in trouble. Defend me. Hugo already ate. Hmm? Oh, I don't even know what I said. Yeah, oh, that's what you mean. I knew the door was gonna open, I just didn't know who. If it was the wife or the landlord. I guess it's a good time to take a slight break now. So I should take a small break. We're gonna return, get into more of the subtleties of the face. So I will take a break and return in just a couple minutes. Alrighty. I have returned, and now we're going to continue working on this pastel. Getting into the subtleties now. The first thing I'm going to do is put something down for the background. It's going to take a couple layers, so better start with this now. Hey, Libertas. And when you do this, use the side of the pastel so that you can sharpen it as you go. Try not to drop it, though sometimes it's inevitable. So this is a very common vignette for the background. With pastels, I try to work a little bit bigger so that it can be cropped later if need be. No worries, Libertas. All is well. All is well. Seemingly well. Not really. All is not well, but it's all gonna be just fine. And when you accidentally drop your pastels, it's actually a good time to use it. Use the side of it. So this will give us our smooth layout. Woke up on this side of the grass, you're doing good. It's an interesting quote. Meaning not underground. I think that's what you mean. I woke up not underground. I am not a zombie. Or am I? I dropped it. It's the sign they use. Yeah. It is a sign. It works pretty well. this little, it's almost like a paint roller to a wall. Thanks, Hansel Dog. We got this. Okay, so now the background on the other side. It's important to cover your tracks. So first, let's shade here a little more. Then we'll add that dark, not really dark, but light. Same kind of Rembrandt convention, dark against light, light against dark. Yeah, yeah. That's what we're gonna use. The yellow ochre in the dark helps to add a little more texture, or I guess let's say anti-texture. Makes it smooth, so that when I add the dark back to it, it's a little bit less distracting. Don't want a lot of texture in areas that you don't want to bring into light, like the shadow. So question for everybody, simple question. Got about 26 of you. Where in the world are you? I am in Alexandria, Virginia. Where in the world are you watching this from? Alright, now we can start to go in the background. We're gonna go with the yellow ochre first. And I'll use this longer yellow ochre so I can sharpen the edge a little more. Just for the outside shape. To have a little more specificity. Now we're creating almost oil painting like edges there. A Hansel dog from Kansas. Thanks for watching from Kansas, Uncle Earl. Let's see. Puleyup. Glasgow, Scotland. Glasgow, Scotland. Where in the world are you watching this from? We've been doing these for a while now. This might be week 9 or week 8. I don't know. I haven't kept track. We've been doing this for a while now. Soon to include watercolor on Tuesdays, which is why I had to leave my 9-ball team on Tuesdays. And I hear they're doing much better without me. This is a very common vignette that I'm using. Thanks for watching from West Maine. I used to live in Stafford, Virginia. That's all right for the background, at least for now. Now we can go into more subtlety. It's important to have a color in the background to relate the skin color to. Lips are pressed together. Well, there isn't much of the lips there yet, but no, I don't think his lips are pressed together. I haven't really put much down for that yet, because I didn't know if I would need to move anything around just yet. Oh, uh, no, I don't think his lips are pressed together. I mean, his mouth is not opened. Usually when I photograph people for these paintings, I try to have them not smile or have any kind of, like obvious pose that would look like it was, this was done from a picture. The goal is to make it look like it's from real life. It's always the goal. Now the mark making has to get more precise. So this is going to take a tad bit more control of how much pressure you put on the pastels. Yeah, I've considered colored pencils. I'll mess around with everything, with all of them. Colored pencils, I haven't really tried yet, so if you have any, suggestions, what colored pencils you like, whether it's a Prismacolor or whichever. Though, I think 4 streams a week once we start doing watercolor might be, it probably won't grow more than that for a while. How many times Rembrandt dressed as ladies in red? Yeah, that was an expensive color. You mean vermilion? Yes, but you could have also used earth reds, other like natural pigments like a burnt sienna, with some of the reds that he used. Remember the saying, John Singer Sargent saying, portrait is a painting where there's a little something off with the mouth. So it's always a little something off with the mouth. That's why you want to work with the shapes surrounding the lips before getting into the lips. Hey Jonas, welcome. This is the part where you really want to subdivide your shapes into smaller shapes and still work the overall big picture without getting too hung up on the specific finish of any one piece. So I was looking at how this relates to this, big planes. Hey Hansel Dog, how many views do I get after the stream? Probably about, I think average maybe like 1,000 extra views per video after the stream ends. I'm hoping to increase that number, but it's been steadily growing. Mainly during the streams, I guess, not so much after the streams. I mean, some of them end up being, more popular than others. Some end up going somewhat viral. Like the Loch Ness Monster one that I did. And then others, not so much. You say you Google the girl in a red source you were working on. You gave up, there were so many. Well, I mean, kind of reminds me of the song Lady in Red. I guess there's a reason why that song is titled Lady in Red. Yeah, it's growing, but not so much at the rate I wish it was growing more, but I'm thankful for, this, for everybody that's watching the videos during and after. And we're only just getting started with this, right? I mean, I did have a long extended internet silence from YouTube when I moved to Virginia. It was difficult for me to get back on track. I spent too much time playing pool. But I'm back on track now. Nothing is gonna stop us. I think Pastel is one of the things that's grown the channel recently these days. But oddly enough, not so many people have been that interested in the acrylics that I've seen. And I thought acrylics would have been a big deal. And we'll see how watercolor plays out. But all in time. We're starting to add in the wing of the nose. All these subtleties. Oh, thanks, Giselle. I appreciate it. Big challenge, really, to do these streams. You know, the challenge is part of what makes this so much fun. So it'd be boring if everything just happened so easily. The wife, yeah, Lucy, she does bullet journaling. Does anyone here know about bullet journaling? So she does like more like 2D art, and she creates things like keychains and stuff like that. Yeah, I know. I never heard of it either until she told me about it. So it's basically like more like say cartoon drawings that have maybe like two values, and then she turns them into stickers, and she had a mug printed out with her designs. Oh, thanks, Giselle. You saw the Boogaroo? That's what I tend to do. I do little practices when I'm like at night just winding down watching Netflix. I tend to do those. I'm not saying I know how to do them just yet. Watercolor is absolutely the most challenging, but fun in the sense that it is challenging. It really hones your drawing skills. I mean, I've got some less finished ones too that I've been messing around with. But I've been working hard towards getting those watercolors to work for me. A very different type of material. I really enjoy how low maintenance it is. I still have yet to clean my brushes from Wednesday, the oil painting. Just been so busy with everything. I put them in a cup of water to prevent them from drying. Because putting your brushes in the freezer doesn't quite help that much, as I have found out. So this is where this paper differentiates itself from the other one that I used. So for example, all I gotta do is just get something to blow the excess pastel and it just goes away. And it's gone. And you can't see it that much, but it's gone. Whereas with the other one, it tends to kind of stay put with the softer paper. Smoother paper. I still have it linked, I think, in the description. I'm not saying that this one is better, just it's a little different with respect to the kind of like texture. I feel like pastel paper needs a little more texture. And the color range you get from this felt gray for portraiture, I think, is a little more natural. The felt gray is it's warmer. I think, at least I think this is the felt gray. It might be the other one. Yeah, Saran Wrap works as well, but it doesn't completely block out the oxygen. That pesky oxygen. And I'm wondering if pool players tend to wear these hats to block off the light from being in their eyes. I wonder if that's the case. I always wondered that. But then you see some pool players that are playing with wearing a hat, but the hat is backwards. That doesn't make sense to me. Why would you wear your hat backwards while you're playing pool? See, Benji has his hat forward, so it makes sense when he's playing pool to block out the light. The last pastel I did of somebody with a hat, their hat was backwards. And I don't know why. I do not know why. Okay. Now we're getting into the super subtleties. question I'll ask for everyone. Do you have any pets? And if so, what are your pets? Names, favorite treats. Can you describe them? Of course, I think you may know Hugo, the Shiba Inu. You may wonder if the hats with skips were to help shade from the light. I would think so. It's my speculation. So let's talk about that competition that someone brought up before, the portrait artist of the year. Is that only for the UK, or can you go there as a non-UK person? And somebody said that you have to submit a self-portrait. So I was thinking of just doing it here. Just do a self-portrait here and submit it to them. Maybe it would be what they, I think that's like 4 hours, right? So I would do a 4 hour demo self-portrait and submit it to them. Call them out, challenge them. Be like, let's go. Hansel dog, you already have a schnauzer mix. Name is Morty. Oh no, Morty. Persian tiger tabby cat. Henry loves begging strips. Hugo does too. He enjoys almost all treats. Oh, your older son played snooker. Never wore a hat. Oh wow. Yeah, snooker, that is a tough game. The academy that I go to used to have a snooker table. Well, they still do, but the light is gone. He has to sell it because not so many people were practicing on it. But moving from a 9 foot table to a 12 foot table, that's a whole nother ball game, literally. Oh, this is one of my favorite parts with the eyes, especially when you're painting someone you know and you're putting the it's a shape called the tear bag. Um, because when you first introduce it, it looks like it's frightening to people. And when you first start painting, this is frightening to beginners because you tend to think about portraits as something personal. And it can really bother you psychologically if you focus too much on it. Me, your grand dog Holly just loves food. Meat or cheese and biscuits. So it pays the cheese tax. So you pay the cheese tax there. You need to be a resident for a year and self-portrait submission. The other one you sent is different. Well, that'd be cool to get into any of those. Just incorporate it as yet another episode. Just another day. We live stream for a living. That's what we do. Oh yeah, that's a bummer. That's only need to be a resident. They shouldn't call it Portrait Artist of the Year. They should call it UK Portrait Artist of the Year. Thanks, Jonas. Have I used fluorescent colors or neon? Well, I've used, like in oil painting, I've used phthalo turquoise and, you know, quinacridone rose, colors like that. But in pastel, not yet. No, no. I only have, for soft pastel, this is all I have. This is my entire soft pastel. And it's 5 sticks of pastel that broke. Well, I bought an extra yellow ochre, so I guess it's 6. Right now, I haven't tried those neon ones. Let's see. In PAOTY. Oh, I didn't know. Portrait Artist of the Year. The heat takes place in person. Dale. Well, the camera angle is. First of all, I know this guy. He's my friend, so I'm like, not gonna call him chubby. If anything, I'm 20 pounds heavier than Benji is. But the hardest people to paint are I'd say the hardest people to paint are the people closest to you. So if you're really close to, say, your mom or your uncle, they are the hardest people to paint. And it has nothing to do with physical appearance. It's all psychological. I'm gonna hear about that comment when I go back to the academy. But don't worry, when I do a self-portrait, you're gonna see a person that's way heavier. I've definitely let myself gain a lot of weight, mostly due to just laziness. Yeah, the pressure is what makes it more difficult. So May wrote, the US calls it Top Sports World Series and not North America World Series. Right? Change the names. Like, can't say you're the best of the best if all you're doing is having local competition. That's not right. But it's kind of difficult to judge art because there's so many things, so many factors, and you can't just go in there and throw some paint on a canvas and sprinkle some sparkles and maybe glue some Kellogg's Rice Krispies on it and call it, like a work of art. Like, can't just show up these days and pull a Marcel Duchamp or Jackson Pollock and expect that to be like the biggest thing ever. So it's, in the same way you can't like go into a uh, say a portrait competition and take a photograph and put one brushstroke on the photograph and say it's a painting. So it's a very subjective world, which is why I like this. Doing these streams, I've set myself apart from the art world, and I've entered into the more or less the general public, so to speak. Like I'm not gonna get roasted by like you know what like Jeremy Licking is not gonna show up on this stream and tell me I need to work on my drawing. So things like that. So daily, it's the hair. You mean in difficulty? That's a good question for everybody. What's the most difficult parts of say a portrait painting for you? I suspect a lot of people are going to say the eyes, but what's the most difficult for you? For me, the most difficult part of a portrait, I'd say, is the silhouette, the outside shape. For me, is the most difficult to get correct. We're going to be even more specific now with this cast shadow, or form shadow. And then in a minute or so, we will take a break. Not that I want to. For circumstances, there are certain circumstances that make me not want to take a break right now. You're talking about, oh, the International Portrait Competition? Yes, thanks for sharing that one, Giselle. Yeah, that one is yeah, I wouldn't be able to submit a say like a YouTube. Um, they want more like super finished stuff. I'd say what they prefer. Which of course I'm not against. I just have to allocate the time to do it. Although I do have some from previous years I could use. September 23rd to February. That's a long time. I'd rather it be just like 3 days and that's it, but it's a long time. I suppose I can submit something. I guess why not? It'd be interesting to try to do that though. Paint something here, but it would have to be over the span of multiple sessions. And then everybody anxiously awaits what the Portrait Society is going to say. I mean, I suppose I could do the typical painting that gets into things, shows like that. The typical painting is usually somewhat related to a family. Like, like a mother holding a child. That kind of textbook stuff. Like, could have Lucy hold, let's see, who has a, I don't know, Lucy hold Hugo. You know, something like that. Oh, okay, that's the time to enter. The painting took 2 years to finish. A lady standing next to a piece of furniture. Yeah. It was two. It's a double portrait, and yeah, it's two models, and there's a lot of stuff in the background, like invented stuff. But not to call out the Portrait Society of America. I guess I can call them out because they're not watching this anyway. But um, they typically accept paintings into their shows that have a specific look and genre. So, in order to get into shows like that, you have to be aware of the kind of things that they want. So, like a mother holding a newborn child, that kind of textbook painting, like that's something that the Portrait Society would want. Or just like a standard like person sitting with a really realistic background. But typically they won't accept something with reptiles in it. Lizards, tarantulas. I mean, I can't even express the number of like people that have arachnophobia. And I'm sure there's some of the jurors uh, in the Portrait Society of America probably are arachnophobic. I would postulate that they are. There might be some. So there's a lot of stuff in that you know leans towards a specific kind of painting. Not to roast the Portrait Society of America, but like they or International Portrait, all of them really, International Portrait Competition, I think. All of them, they have certain bias towards those types of paintings from what I've seen. But I could be wrong. I do not know everything. Don't know everything about painting. Okay, now we're gonna take a break and return to finish this. So it looks like everything has gone by peacefully. All the other stuff, I guess, didn't happen. So I guess that's kind of a good thing. We're gonna take a break and we will return in just a couple of minutes. Alrighty, we have returned. And as always, let me know if the audio is working for you. And for those of you that are wondering what kind of art that my wife does, so she does designs, like I said, like so this one. So she designs sticker sheets and she prints them out and sells them. So she's got these kinds of stickers. So these are designs that she draws digitally, as you can see there. Um, this is Day of the Dead sticker sheet. This is Halloween themed stuff. So yes, these are designs that she makes and sells. So yes, my wife is an artist as well, and she printed a on a mug the stickers, and then she's got these that she designs for your keychains. So things like that. That is what she designs, and I'll post her Instagram and all her information as a comment. But her Instagram is titled One Page of Self Care. So, one page of self care a day. That's what it's called. Her Instagram. Alright, so let's go back into the hair now. I'm looking at negative space out here. So this needs to fill up more of the frame. So I'm editing the hair a little bit, the curls of the hair. Oh, you're on your laptop? Yeah, his hair is more curly. It's more forward than what I have, so I'm looking at that now. At least down to about here, I guess. So we managed to get this far without any interruptions that I thought were going to be a thing, but I guess not. Hey, Mark. Oh, hi. How you doing, Mark? Everyone at the Pool Academy is gonna be YouTube famous. Yeah, let's go. Everyone at the Pool Academy will be famous. Let's do it. Yeah, this week was double, right? We painted Lexi on Wednesday and now Benji on Friday. You saw that video? You still haven't seen the movie? Yeah, it was pretty funny. It's all playful humor though. I wonder if anyone else can catch on to what movie we're talking about. But yeah, that movie is a classic. Absolute classic. Let's see if anyone can catch the references. Oh, hi, Mark. And the other one, you're tearing me apart. And it's funny because we have a viewer here that has that name, the name of a character that someone is referring to, and they say, "You're tearing me apart." It'd be cool if we had a viewer with each one of the corresponding names. But that's what makes these streams so unique. And it's more like a podcast in a way, I guess. More like a podcast. And then so many people leave the stream. Oh man, where'd you go? But in all sincerity, again, everybody, ask any questions that you have, art related or anything that we can talk about on YouTube is fine. Sometimes when I don't have a mirror to look at, I use the dark part of my phone as a reflection. So I look at the reflection. So I'm looking at the reflection now. See if there's anything major that I've messed up on. Mainly I'm looking at the alignment of the eyes. So if you want to make sure that the eyes are looking at the right place, so this one is too far that way, this one's too far that way. So in order to correct that, you really want to look at the reverse and figure it out from there. Couldn't view comments when you go back to the video. That's strange. Uh-oh. Well, YouTube didn't notify me of any problems. Do I think soft pastels are better than high-end oil pastels? I don't know if I can make that assessment yet. I have purchased the high-end oil pastels, but I've only purchased, I'll show you. This is how limited my budget is. This is how limited Yupari's budget is right now. I purchased, so limited I can't even find them. Where are they? Jeez, where did they go? Got so many boxes here. Yep, this is how limited my budget is. I only got 3. But technically all I need are 4. I'm missing black, and this is already a red. So I can't say for sure, but I can definitely say that the oil pastel is a lot harder to get subtlety. It's harder to work in mass with oil pastels. So I think that there's a different approach that I need to figure out. A materials GoFundMe. I feel like I'm already asking so much by, even just doing YouTube and Patreon. So, but maybe what I was thinking, and everybody that's here still, I have an idea, kind of a little bit of an extra to these streams. Think about the term after party. So I was thinking maybe, put my Zelle or my Venmo or something on here, like a little scanner here, a barcode, a Venmo barcode, and anyone that Venmos, say like $5 or $10, probably 10, can Zoom with me right after the stream ends. So not for every YouTube, of course, because that would be way too much. But once in a while, we could Zoom for like 30 minutes or an hour after YouTube ends. Doesn't even have to be painting related. You just want to talk on Zoom or something. So your oil pastels were created around the time of Picasso. Oh, that's a long time ago. And no oil pastels go that far back. But I guess it makes sense. I mean, you've got a very rich history in pastels now. It's something that I've kind of low key, like, always wanted to learn throughout all my years, and it's finally happening. Am I happy with the picture quality of the work that I do? Sometimes you wrote, sometimes I find it didn't capture what my eye sees. I'd say I'm all right with it. I'm not ever going to just say this is it. This is all that I strive for. I always strive for more. Um, so I want to say yes. I'm happy with the level that I've reached thus far in my life with art, in terms of, as you mentioned it, the picture quality. But there's always more. I always want more. But I'm not going to dwell on it to the point where it becomes toxic either. They say that we are our worst enemies when it comes to art. We are our biggest critics. And that's definitely true for pretty much all the artists that I know. But you can't let it get to your head. Um, you can't let it stop you from innovating and from, trying out different techniques. Yeah, I figured soft pastels would be way older. I mean, I think about the cave paintings, and those are kind of pastels in a way. But yeah, there's always something more. I always see something more that I can do. I used to lose sleep over it in the past. I've done some streams like this one here. I hate this painting. I really ruined this one. That's why I use it as a fan. So there's some of them that I've done. I know that I just bombed it, and like, I mean, I feel bad for Caravaggio that I bombed his painting, but it happens though, and you can't dwell on it. You have to live in the moment. Another useful thing I've learned from playing pool: you just gotta live in the moment. You can't let mistakes that happened earlier in the match get to you. Life in general, I mean, you can't let it get to you. Yeah, like all the stuff that happened just now, earlier in this stream. I feel like my younger self would have probably kind of got frustrated and given up. But you can't. You gotta trying to give you my best Rocky Balboa climbing the stairs. Motivational speech. There are no excuses. No excuses. Only I don't know. I haven't seen Rocky in a while, but you know those talks. No excuses. You just gotta push on. My dream and my goal in life is to continue to build my skills, and making a living doing that is a huge thing that I'm thankful for. I do YouTube full time. I do online art full time. One of the few that can do that. I'm thankful for all of you that made that possible. Life's a dance. Yeah. Life is like a box of chocolate. Do I have downtime? Yeah, I play pool. Yeah, just today I was playing some 8 ball games against Christian, the guy that I did the last pastel of the before we did all the master studies in pastel. Oh, thank you for the super chat, Stephanie Thompson. Super chat. Woo woo. Thank you so much. And now thanks to Stephanie Thompson's super chat, we will start to add more pastels into the kit. In particular, I really need a blue. I haven't had a blue in my soft pastels. Like this entire time, I haven't had a blue. So thank you for the super chat. We are all so thankful. Thank you, thank you. Benji, you must be good luck, man. I'm gonna have to paint you more often. Benji is the good luck charm here. So thank you, Stephanie. Yeah, I was thinking about doing something like that, like an after party after some streams. Just create like a one-time Zoom so we can hang out. So, for example, like that super chat would be rewarded with like um, pass into the after party Zoom. Which Stephanie, anytime that once I start doing that, the after party Zooms, you've got a free pass in there. Let me know if you're ever on here and I announce an after party Zoom. And for my students that are already paying for the Zooms, the weekly Zooms, of course, you'll be free of charge. So hooray on the super chat. Yeah, this doesn't feel like work to me. I mean, of course it's my job. I have to be good at this for a living, but I enjoy doing this. So what I'll probably do with the after parties is the after party zooms is I'll have to figure out a way to send the link to you after you know send something. I'll figure that out as I go. Thanks, Stephanie. Let's see. So May wrote, "There's a great set of YouTube videos originally made for BBC. People the Impressionists." Okay, I'll take a picture of that comment. I can look that up. I will definitely look that up. Pastels used by Degas. Oh, I think I heard of something like that. And again, this is where this paper really uh, differentiates itself from. I guess it's not like it's better than the one I used last week. It's just when it comes to the really smooth stuff, the texture of this Canson pastel paper really creates a nice and smooth surface. Even though originally it starts out as very textured. Yeah, and because yesterday's video was cut kind of short, again, I think I kind of bombed that one as well. The acrylic, so I've bombed two acrylics now. But it's really important to have that little bit of extra time. So this week has been hectic for me. All I want to do is paint and play pool. Paint, play pool. So again, painting is my career. Painting on here is my career. YouTube is, or not YouTube. Pool is more of a kind of a therapy thing. So what pastels did Degas use? Did he use oil pastels or soft pastels? Now we know that from what Mark said, oil pastels are relatively new, so it would make sense if he used only soft pastels. But it'd be interesting to have more conversation about it. That's funny. Thanks, Giselle. That was funny. Mark is funny. Now it's getting real specific. Hand rolling pastels? Interesting. Yeah, one challenge I've thought of, and not saying I'm gonna do it, but one challenge I've thought of is the those kids Crayolas or whatever that we used to use when we were kids. Do pastel with one of those, or with those pastels. I have a feeling it's gonna be very difficult. So I think they're basically oil pastels made safe for kids to eat. Because some kids, I think I was one of those kids. I think I might have eaten some of those. But you know, when I got crayon on the walls, my mom didn't immediately yell at me.
Brianna Landlord.
That's not a good thing. Have a good night, Stephanie. Thanks for the super chat.
Hello?
Hello?
Yes, just so you know, they will be there. Be there as well.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I should be done in 30 minutes. So,
See you soon.
cool. See ya. Well, I guess it all worked out. New challenge portrait with crayons. Yep, that's a challenge that I've been thinking of. For sure. And I think they're basically just oil pastels. Not that I know too much about them, but that would be an interesting challenge. Really specific with these soft pastels. Yeah, and the texture on these pastels with this paper, I think, is definitely it's easier to get these subtle gradations and have them actually remain on the paper. It's just a little tougher with the other paper. Shame, because the other paper was cheaper. The more you do portraits like this, the more like this stage it becomes more intuitive. But this part, this stage of a painting is usually the most uh, intellectually daunting or intellectually difficult. The fine finish stuff. It just becomes more routine over time. Take care, Hansel Dog. Thanks for joining. And Giselle, what do you have? Oil, hard Duro True Pastel for fine art. Oh, never heard of them. Cool. So much to learn. Maybe definitely got his pastels from the location you said. The grandfather of the lady of the shop. Wow, what a history there. Those pastels must be pretty expensive if they're selling it with the marketing that Degas used them. Let's see. You ever wonder how it could work if you tried pastels on watercolor? What? Watercolor paper? Well, I'm sure that could work, but you know the saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I mean, this is like the best paper. And I've been so spoiled. This is the paper that I started using from the get-go when I went to school in Philly. This is the paper they had us use. Canson Métiers. It's great for not just charcoal, but pastel. I mean, it is marketed as pastel paper. So fortunate with my teachers. Sandpaper? The paper for pastel. Oh, I don't know about that. You're gonna go through all of your pastels. This is like the best. I can't imagine anything better than this. But can always try other stuff just for fun. Experimentation by nature. So we're gonna make everyone in the pool academy famous. That was a good comment. Thanks, man. Yeah, this paper. I don't take any credit for this paper, by the way. It does. It's pretty good. That makes sense. Yeah. invent pastels so that you wouldn't have to travel with your tubes of paint. That does make sense. I'll put in some of his hoodie. But following this vignette is going to be the purpose. Just a little glimpse of the hoodie. So they wrote really good pastels are almost pigment and just little binder. Well, maybe wouldn't be the healthiest thing, but I guess, yeah. Gotta be careful with that. You don't want pure pigments flying everywhere. I'll have to research more about that with this pastel in particular. Because I'm not trying to die. So it'll be very important to know exactly how much pigment is flying all over the place. But if anything, it's just falling down. It's not going this way towards me. So as always in the ending stages, or the later stages of any painting, the last thing you want to do is work on the subtleties of the face. That was probably one of the last subtleties that we needed to do there. Maybe some more for the hair and such, but really not much else. And I'm going to do everything I can to not leave just yet. I don't want to. For certain reasons. But I hope these streams are fun for everyone. Remember, you can always play them. I know you can't see the bottom of it, so I'm not going to do too much for the bottom, but just something. You gotta think about the vignette, of course. We're gonna put a little glimpse of his shirt here. Not too much. You gotta think about the composition. Vignette means areas of the painting that you leave unfinished to complement the more finished stuff. Oh, thanks, May. Oh, you could hear the pastels. Oh, good. Hopefully they didn't sound too bad. Hard to know when it's finished. That is true. And the portrait as fine art is a very difficult concept because, um, part of it is how close to the person does it look, but if it's everybody thinks slightly differently about it, but if you're too perfect or if you're too methodical on obtaining an exact likeness, you fall into a trap of being too much of a camera or too much of a I don't know, just enough likeness is important. I feel like let's let the camera do what the camera does and stay true, as true as you can be to the model and to life, what you're painting. But you gotta be true to yourself first. You know, style. Um, you don't need to stylize things because that tends to happen on its own. The material itself and the way you use it is pretty much like, uh, it's like a type of handwriting that you develop over time. And thanks again for all the likes. We got 31 likes. I really appreciate it. Of course, shout out to Benji. Thank you for letting me paint your portrait here on YouTube. Benji and his wife, or soon to be wife, Lexi, who we painted in oil paint on Wednesday. And I'll hold the two paintings next to each other closer to the end. We are close to the end, but once I know that I'm not going to touch the pastels anymore because I don't want to get paint on my hand and then get paint on the pastel, that would be interesting. Overall, our numbers here have been consistently higher each week, so thank you all so much. Everyone that's new here and hasn't wrote a comment yet, that's okay. I'm glad you're here. And I hope you're enjoying the streams. Oh yeah, glass. You definitely want to use a glass frame for pastels. Yeah, you have to frame it in glass. If you spray fixative on it, it's gonna change the values a little bit, and that may not be something that you would want. But pastels are not as fragile as like say charcoal, but you don't want to certainly don't want to get anything on the pastel if you can avoid it. You could frame it right away. Um, yeah, you could frame a pastel like right now. I could frame it. You don't have to wait. Like with oil paint, you gotta wait to varnish it. To some degree, I think acrylic might need to be varnished as well, but not as much. That is some acrylics like the Boogaroo that we did. That looks fine on its own. I don't think it needs the varnish. Yeah, thick glass. Yeah, thick glass to keep the surface. Yeah. keep the surface safe. But what a journey this one has been. Not sure if you're still watching this, Benji and Lexi. I may have to run straight to the academy after this. Things are not looking good outside. Here we go. You heard that they said 30 minutes, right? This hasn't been 30 minutes, I don't think. I don't know. This edge here is the most important. Without this curvature, it's not going to work. This edge in particular. And I noticed that I had some issues with that same corner the last couple portraits that I did in pastel. This edge, for some reason. So that's why I'm a little more cautious with it. You see that plane change for the superciliary arch. How much does the frame add to the work? I think it adds something to it. You know, a painting that's framed kind of demands more attention to itself because it's framed. It's like a fancy set of rims. Yeah, a frame on a painting is like a nice set of rims on a car. You can get by just fine without it, but it's a little something extra.
Could be exposing you to whatever secondary damage is on the opposite side, which could be more than anything else.
Because outside, when it rains, so these are my tenants, they live here, but they were saying when it rains, that it gets a lot of, all this water starts piling up right here when it rains.
So quote of the day, frame on the painting is like a nice set of rims on a car. It's nice to have it if you can, but you can get by just fine without it.
Yeah. So I turned on the wash machine to double check that it wasn't the issue, but it's not the washer and dryer. Because I ran a load today as a test.
You'll have a lot more water than that.
Yeah.
Not sure if you could hear Hugo.
Want to say the next door neighbors let us check their unit real quick?
Gotta make sure I don't accidentally give him a mullet, because he doesn't have one. So you gotta focus on things like that. Hey, Uncle Earl. What colors I've been using? White, yellow ochre, black. This is called Permanent Red Deep. And I have no clue what the name of this brown red is, but I have it linked in the description, and the link also has the specific number to the pastel. And it's a really important color, and I tried to find it again at the store, the local art store, but I couldn't find it, so I'm gonna have to order it on Amazon. Very limited palette, though I do want to get a greenish color and a blue, at least a blue. But having to use black and yellow all the time, it takes more time. I would be a lot faster if I had more colors for sure. I appreciate the question. Yeah, I think we're almost there, everyone. Sadly, I don't want to go. I really don't. And that's a good thing when the last thing you want to do is leave your job. I don't want to clock out. But it's been a lot of fun. Okay, I think we're almost there. This is the point where I'll ask if there are any last minute questions as I sort out this shape. If there are any last minute questions, let me know. Any last minute questions? Anybody? Again, shout out to Benji, fellow pool player from the academy, the billiard academy I go to in Alexandria, Virginia, Streetlights Billiards Academy. Shout out to you, Benji. I really hope that you liked your pastel video. Shout out to Lexi as well, Benji's fiance, who allowed me to paint her portrait on Wednesday. Keep me in your thoughts this weekend. It's going to be quite a difficult weekend. And I think, that might be it. I don't see any other major things that need to be addressed. Anytime there's like a little bullseye here, things like that. I might do some touch-ups here and there off camera, but not very much. Oh, yeah, you want to see the paintings together? All right. So let's sign this one first, and then I'll bring that one. So I'll sign it over here. There's the signature. All right, let's look at the paintings together now. All together now. So Benji and Lexi. So we've got Benji and Lexi. We're gonna move the two of you here. There you go. Benji and Lexi. The right was done in oil paint, the left soft pastel. You can see the colors almost match on camera. The background colors almost match. So again, congratulations on your engagements, Benji and Lexi. Thanks again for letting me paint your portraits this week here on YouTube. Yeah, yeah, I get it. But yeah, that's all I got for you today. Sorry for all the craziness earlier, but the craziness is something I'm gonna have to deal with outside of this room. Pretty soon. I'm probably gonna dart straight to the academy. So Benji, if you're gonna be at Streetlights, I'll probably see you there later today. Yes, a very, very happy couple. They do look great together. They do look great together. Okay, so thank you so much, everybody, for watching. Everyone that watched this video live, as well as watched this video as pre-recorded. Of course, like I said, I aim to add watercolor on Tuesdays, so very soon you're going to have 4 live streams a week. Just in case you can't make it to one of the days, you can make it to one of the others. The videos will of course be there for you forever to watch for free. Oh, there you are, Lexi. I'm glad you like it. Yep, all this stuff is going on outside. I don't know if it's picking up on camera, but yeah, I'm probably gonna run straight to the academy. Isn't there a tournament? Yeah, there's a tournament like 30 minutes from now. Maybe I'll go and get destroyed at the tournament. But yeah, thanks again, everybody. Thank you all so much. I wish you the very best in all of your artwork. Oh, thanks, Giselle. Yeah, I noticed you haven't missed one yet. That's amazing. That is amazing. I'm truly thankful for you, Giselle, and everyone else that's been here. Again, I wish you all the very best. And oh, you want me to put them side by side? Okay. Yes, so we'll put them side by side. Maybe if I'm lucky, YouTube will put this as the thumbnail. So side by side, fiance and fiance. So there's the paintings side by side. So hope you like them. Thanks again for joining at the stream, everybody. Yep, remember to leave a like, everyone that hasn't left a like yet. There you are, Benji and Lexi. Oh, good question. Discuss the 2 different sides of pastel paper. How the pastel acts on each. Instructors urge smooth side more than the coarser side. I would say yeah. You want to use the smooth side. So for example, so the smooth side of the Canson pastel paper is the side that has the sticker. The other side, you can see here, has the texture. And what happens is when you do pastel painting on the textured side, you pick up the texture. See? So see how you're picking up some of that texture? Whereas on the other side, it's more of that smooth. See the difference between that and that. So that's why everyone says to use the smooth side of the pastel paper. Black and yellow. Yeah, that song's gonna be stuck in your head. Thank you for the last minute questions again, Alexi and Benji. Hopefully you like the paintings. Oh, okay. Yeah, you want to use the smooth side, Julia. The smooth side. I don't know if the internet cut off when I was explaining it. So the side that has the sticker on this paper is the smooth side. So see how this looks smooth versus coarse? The coarse side almost looks like little dots were stabbed into it. So again, the coarse side of the paper leaves this really nasty texture. The smooth side, as you can see, you can see the grain of the paper, just like you see here, the grain of the paper, as opposed to these dots. So the smooth side is better to use than the coarse side of the pastel paper. I hope the internet didn't cut off. Well, hopefully that was on camera and the internet didn't cut off. My chat might be lagging a lot though. Alright, it looks like that's everything for today. I wish you all the very best, and I will see you next week. Have a great weekend, everyone.